Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second installment of Eerie, Oklahoma. If you joined us for last week's initial edition, I sure do appreciate you doing that. And for those of you who are joining us this week, it's good to have you. Hope you'll go back and check out the first installment where we looked at the Beaver Dunes in outside of Beaver, Oklahoma, where the supposed Oklahoma Bermuda Triangle is. I'll give you a little update about that at the end of this video. So last Friday, I kind of threw everything together on just I feel like a spark of inspiration. So this week I had more time to prepare, and so I wanted to do it in video format instead of typing out all of the facts. I still will include links to videos in the comments section, and that will be videos of people who actually went to the place that we'll be looking at. Hopefully I'll be able to go to some of the places myself. But anyway, let me, I have a slide presentation to show you for this video, so let me bring that up. And we'll just walk through the location that we're going to tonight. And hopefully keep this under 10 minutes. And then you'll have the weekend to check out the videos. And I'm kind of excited about today's location because I know people in this group have been to this location. So I hope you all who have been will maybe share some stories in the comments section. So today we're going, we were up here last week near Beaver, Oklahoma, where the Beaver Dunes are. And we're going about 350 miles east-southeast to the college in Tahlequah, known as Northeastern State University. And the Eerie, Oklahoma place is a building on that campus called Seminary Hall. And there is a picture of modern day Seminary Hall. So let me go back to the beginning and lead up to why this is one of the eerie places in Oklahoma. Why it's known as Haunted Seminary Hall. You can see here as you go into this entrance, there is a gated arch that says 1888 Cherokee Female Seminary, and then Northeastern State University. Northeastern State grew out of one of the first schools to be founded west of the Mississippi River, and I do believe it is the first school of higher education for females west of the Mississippi River. The Cherokee Female Seminary, which was established originally in 1846. And it was started in a little community that is actually south of Tahlequah called Park Hill. There is a picture of the original seminary with some of the girls that went there. Now that original seminary, which when I say that, I'm going to be referring to the building. That original seminary building was destroyed on Easter Sunday in 1887 by a fire. There's the remains of it. There are, as far as I know, there's 4 columns. You see all the columns there that were all around the building. 4 of those columns are all that is left of that original seminary. 3 of them are located at the Cherokee National Museum. Cherokee, also known as the Cherokee Heritage Center. I think it's in Park Hill. Those of you who know more about it, please correct me if I'm wrong on that. But then there's another column located on the campus of Northeastern. Now, shortly after they built this seminary, they also built a Cherokee male seminary. It too eventually was destroyed, and one of its pillars is also on Northeastern's campus. But anyway, back to Seminary Hall. So the original seminary burned down in 1887. They began to rebuild a new building in 1888, and it was completed in 1889, and it reopened May 7th, 1889. You can see there is Seminary Hall in the background of this picture. So this building is what? This coming May 7th, it will have been opened 11 and 23, 134 years. So it is, not only is it a historic building for Tahlequah, that would be a very historic building for the state of Oklahoma. As we can see here, that building opened the same year as the land runs, and that would be 18 years before statehood. So that is a very important historical building for the whole state of Oklahoma. And it's very important in many ways, being one of the first female schools west of the Mississippi River, being a Native American woman's school, a lot of historical uniqueness to this building and school. Now, eventually, the Cherokee Female Seminary, as we saw with the new gate up here, became Northeastern State University. If you're interested in how that came about, there's a good detailed Wikipedia article on it, as well as a history of the school on Northeastern's website. But we're talking about the haunted aspect. And so probably the 2 most well-known specters or apparitions that supposedly haunt Seminary Hall. One is of a woman who is named Florence Wilson. Mrs. Wilson, or Miss Wilson, was the principal of the female seminary for 26 years before it was NSU. And the story goes, now I found kind of 2 versions of the story. One story was that her fiance died in the Civil War, and so she wore black for the whole time that she was the principal, to symbolize her mourning. And so some of the stories are that you can see an apparition of a woman in a black uniform. Variations say that she guards the door that would have been the door back in the days of the seminary to the women's dormitory. She guarded that door so no men would get in there. It is Now, another variation of the story is that her fiance left her. And so she became very bitter towards men. And so she haunts the offices on the third floor, I believe, and especially male professors have talked about feeling an uneasiness and unpleasantness. So, and now another variation also is seeing her in a white wedding gown. I'm assuming it was her. The things that I read said that it was just a woman in a white wedding gown. So that's the story of Miss Florence Wilson. Other supposed apparitions, the second most well-known that I could find, and if you choose to watch the videos, you'll learn about it, is the 9th president of NSU, John Samuel Vaughn. It's been said by students that they have seen by a janitor. A janitor supposedly saw this man's apparition and refused to clean that building anymore. A third story that was in the Eerie, Oklahoma book was that a janitor died in this building many years ago. He fell down an elevator shaft. His name was Floyd, and he's kind of a mischievous ghost who will move cans around on the shelves and just cause mayhem. And other stories about the hauntings are that lights will go on and off, computers will be turned on and off. Stories have been told of hearing girls running down the hallways giggling. So if you choose to research it yourself, you would find several of these things. I'm just going to tell you that there's not much by way of video. I've got 3 videos in the comment section. And I'm sad to say that only one of them talks about the ghost stories. And it's not a very long video, a little over 2 minutes. The other 2 videos just give you a brief history about the Seminary Hall building, as well as the Cherokee Female Seminary itself. And so check those out. If it says here, if you've been to Seminary Hall, some of you I know attended Northeastern, if you have a personal story, or if you can add more to the legends that were shared tonight, please do so in the comments. And once again, thank you for joining this time tonight of Eerie, Oklahoma. And if you got friends on Facebook who like this type of stuff, kind of the odd unknown facts, or like the eerie facts of Oklahoma, anybody would be interested in that, tell them about our group and have them request to join. I would love to add them. Now, I am also reading a couple of other books. One book is Little Known Facts About Oklahoma, and it happened in Oklahoma. I'm thinking about starting up another time to do places out of those books. And I would do that on Tuesday nights, calling it Little Known Places in Oklahoma. If you'd be interested in that, let me know in the comments, and we'll get that started too. I love our state. It's a great state, and there's a lot of history to it. and a lot of unknown, interesting things about it. I'd love to bring those to your attention. So, and then I told you about an update about the Beaver Dunes, and I'll close with this. I read in a source this past week, because I'm still reading about that. I think I mentioned in the post last week that there's only one historical piece of evidence about the dunes, and that was, I mentioned Coronado's journal. Well, I came across another secondary source this week, which is 10 years old. And this person, and there, matter of fact, it's that little known facts about Oklahoma book. The author of that book said he came into contact with a person who came into contact with the person who made up all of the information about Beaver Dunes. So according to that source, now it's all a hoax. But of course it's hearsay and hearsay. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for that journal entry, if it's really true. So just a little update about that. If you are planning on going to the Beaver Dunes to try to figure out the mystery, you might want to wait a little bit, but it looks like a great place to take your four-wheelers and dune buggies. But anyway, thanks again. And if you have any things that you're aware of that might not be in my book, please let me know. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.